Zoloft and get your head right.
That's right, head right, homies. Welcome to the Zoloft, your head right hangout, your same space from the global rubber room. Hey, I hope that you guys have had a great weekend and are ready to get on with this new Monday. It's time to get back to business. Get down to business. Back to the ordinary business of doing things. I hope that you guys can kind of hear me. Evidently, I'm not ready to get back down to business as I don't even have my microphone plugged in. I guess you guys can kind of hear me. I guess that's what matters. I feel like Mr. Rogers is like still getting ready. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood, a beautiful day for a beauty. I need some shoes to like click together or something like that, or like throw up and catch and whichever. All right, would you be mine? Can you be mine? And yeah, like I'm like the actual Mr. Rogers that has like on a sweater so I can hide my tats and stuff like that. Mr. Rogers had
Is that true?
Yeah, it's totally true. Yeah, he had a sweater to hide all of his tats, and like one of his tats was that. He had like, the marker things, when people do a mark and they put a slash through it, a file like that.
Yeah.
To confirm his sniper kills, because he was a sniper in Vietnam.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So it's like Mr. Rogers was hardcore.
Wow. Speaking of military tattoos, Pete Hegseth is due to be confirmed tomorrow, and Elizabeth Warren has just been having a fit all day because of his Iron Cross tattoo. He's anti-Semitic, I guess.
Okay. Well, let's see. Well, Mr. Rogers has about as many tats as Elizabeth Warren does, or bamboo tappings for her authentic, tribal affiliations or whichever. And of course, I know right now I got probably, if I've got any vets, their face is probably turned upside down by me making this claim about Mr. Rogers and his tats and his sniper kills and stuff like that. Yeah, but
are you putting one over on me?
Kind of.
I'm so gullible with you. I don't believe anything you say.
You know what? I am honored. The Lord has blessed me with a woman whom I've garnered such trust. That's the Lord that she trusted me. And the Lord ain't gonna let me keep fibbing for that long. It's like, well, you better tell her the truth. I'll tell her the truth. You don't tell her the truth, do you? Right? But that actually, that was one of those things. Seemed like that was like one of the most searched things on the internet at some time.
Oh my goodness.
Seems like it was. I don't know. Was that a thing? Like just to find out, did Mr. Rogers really wear sweaters to cover up his tats? and had like X amount of confirmed kills as a sniper in Vietnam.
Tom Jensen would like some meatloaf now.
That's right. Hey, that's how we do it, man. We meatloaf with a side of, whatever side dish you want to throw in there, and. But yeah, it's like people like imparting, like it's like dumping stolen valor on. But Mr. Rogers like, man, golly, I don't even know what you're talking about. Come on, man, weren't you a sniper? Huh? Trolley, King Friday, come and help me out. All right, so it's like, Zoe, you know a lot about Mr. Rogers, man. I used to ditch school to watch Mr. Rogers, man. When I was like, a little kid, like in 6th grade. Pretend like I was going off to school, come back, after my mom goes to work, hop over the wall, get back, watch.
Did you really?
Yeah, watch Mr. Rogers, man.
Oh my goodness.
And, the funny thing, what the funny thing about watching Mr. Rogers? It wasn't Mr. Rogers like the show, and like whatever it came on. I'm like in the 6th grade. The nostalgia of it.
Oh.
I was caught up with the nostalgia of Mr. Rogers, the show. And I'm only in the 6th grade. I guess that means I just have an old soul.
Yes.
Right? But yeah, that was the like the overwhelming feeling of Mr. Rogers. Well, I just would come to watch it for just the feeling of nostalgia.
Felix the Cat. That's what did it for me. It was a nostalgia thing. It was in black and white. I mean, there were color cartoons out when we were kids, so there was something really nostalgic and old about it. Same thing with Popeye.
Okay. And I know it's because like there's shows that I would feel totally nostalgic about. I don't remember being raised on them. I don't or anything like that. I had like a long run, and I'm like, this is like when I'm in the 6th, even then, like the 6th or maybe like the 8th grade, I think.
Yeah.
I had a long run on the Honeymooners.
Oh.
I would not. I would like, I had a TV. Like I was spoiled, man. I had, we was living in the projects, but I had a TV. I was spoiled, right? But and the honeymooners, I was like totally hung up on the honeymooners, man. I wouldn't miss an episode. Just the nostalgia. What other shows? There was other shows that were like, and I'm still like that. See, I'm weird for nostalgia, and but yeah. Anyway, let me try to get back to the news because I'm getting caught up. I'm like wandering off in nostalgia land. It's like
that was
you guys,
fun.
yeah, and it's like we get caught up with Ready for History up in here. What do we got here? What are we going to try to get to today, y'all? Why did I go off on that? What was I talking about? Oh, Mr. Rogers. That's right.
Yes.
Mr. Rogers got me caught up with that stuff. Okay, so we're going to try to get to Steve Bannon goes berserk on Elon Musk. Gonna go crazy on you. Crazy on you. Okay, vows to drive him away from the White House. He is truly an evil guy. All right. Scholar and contributor to Upside Down Kingdom. Yeah. Study Upside Down Kingdom. So what is this person like? Is this like a take? Is this person trying to capitalize on like the popularity of Stranger Things? It's like the Upside Down. Okay. This person is going to try to use the Stranger Things. Stranger Things. Study Bible. I don't think any women submit in the Old Testament. Oh, and really quick, if you guys are joining on the Instagram, thank you guys so much for tuning in. I see I got Akratom. Sorry if I'm saying the name wrong. And we got Lars. These like words are like all one word, and it's like hard to know where the syllable is supposed to start and stop. Lars. Onikoli? Okay. So thank you for tuning in. Sorry if I said your name wrong. And thank you all for joining in on the YouTubes and tuning in on the website bronzeserpentmedia.com, which I'm hoping that everybody will. So I see that somebody. I'm actually, and you know what else y'all? I am going to really try to toggle back and forth between the chat rooms. And I see somebody dropped in who I just saw, and it's gone now. Mark Mealy. I hope I said that name right.
Yeah,
I love Lucy. He dropped it. That was another one.
That's my favorite. Yeah,
yes.
You even got me the whole DVD set.
I sure did, and Lucille Ball was a trip. Lucille Ball was funny.
Yeah.
She was really a naturally funny woman, and we tuned in more for. Even though there was a lot of nostalgia that went with I Love Lucy, even though I didn't really watch the show, it just had that feel to it.
Yeah.
But Carol Burnett, I loved the Carol Burnett show.
You got me into that.
Yeah, the Carol Burnett, but the thing is, Lucille Ball was like, she was like the queen. It's like, we used to think that Carol Burnett could get down back in the day. It's like, man, she was hitting, but it was like, you could see like, Lucille Ball was just I guess I'm pretty sure even like Carol Burnett, I think there's, like Carol Burnett talking about Lucille, I was like, dude, she was it.
Yeah.
She was so funny. But I Love Lucy show.
Can I just say something real quick to Jay, because it'll take too long to type in the chat.
What's it?
It was not your cleaner, Jay, that set my allergies or my nose off last week. It turns out that was the beginning stages of yet another viral infection. So, yeah.
Well, we scrubbed this place down.
We did, yeah. And I couldn't be in here because it was that strong, but this is a cold. I have yet another cold.
This cold must have been a bad mamma jamma, because it's like, we cleaned that stuff, and that's, oh man. But hey, all that to say though, Jay, we have vanquished.
Yes.
We vanquished them mice, man.
Yep.
That's right. Showed them the dough.
And we have a super, super clean shop now. And
yeah,
it was already clean before.
It was already, but it was like what do they call it? Decon.
Yeah.
Yeah. We decontaminated this place with that stuff, man. It's like, I had to come in here with gas. I went all out. It's like, look, man, them rude rodents, cuz leaving turds, on my desk. It's like I wake up in the morning, I come out here, it's like, man. Leave a trail of mouse turds on my desk, man. And, having to, clean that off. Yes, rude.
We're talking close to where you study the Bible.
Yeah,
so.
they got bold, man. It's like there's three mice. There was three of them, You know, and like, you know, exactly, like get up here close to my Bible and stuff. Like, this is where I put my Bible, man. You can't have mouse turds, so, you know, my Bible, man. Don't be defiling my Bible. So, little mouse, like, stand up there, like, get up on my desk and look at me like, what's up?
Yeah, he would rear up on his hind legs.
And drop something, like right there, man. I had to have my alcohol spray. Psst, back up, right? It's like, you know, I had to let them know who's boss. But they gone now, man. Thank you. Thank you for sending them traps.
Yeah, we're so appreciative.
Brought the cat out here. Our cat Licorice put in work on him too. So she caught one of them, man. It was like Wild Kingdom. Slammed that sucker up against the wall. Dude, it was like, oh, Licorice.
Poor thing.
Don't kill him. Don't kill him. But, you know, she let him go because, you know, that's just what cats do. They want to play with, you know, they like to play with their food. Anyway, back to the news. Because, I mean, you know, I know that it's not as interesting as me talking about, you know, mice in my workshop. So let's see. Scholar and contribute. Oh, so, we did that part. So she was supposed to. I don't think any women submit in the Old Testament. Talk about upside down. Yeah, then her book is aptly titled. It really is. I just don't think it's meaning what she wanted it to mean.
Right.
But yeah, your study Bible really is upside down.
She's a contributor.
A contributor?
Yeah.
Okay.
They've got several contributors who think like her.
All right. Yeah. Well, no. Let's see. Suspected cause for devastating Palisades wildfire revealed crushes Democrat narrative. And then we have Blowtorch dude is an illegal alien, has not been charged with arson. Oh, my goodness. SmartLA 2028, Newsom announces Marshall Plan. Okay. Marshall Plan to rebuild a new Los Angeles. We're going to build a new city. Mm-hmm. A chocolate city. Yes. And, but, you know, whatever, I guess, confection he wants to maybe throw in there. We already have a team reimagining LA 2.0.
Yeah, where you will own nothing and be happy.
Uh-huh. Yeah, but this is news? Nah, it's one reason why we got out of there. We know.
Yep.
We know what you're up to. Powerful video shows family singing praise. Let me put that in quotes. The headline doesn't do it, but I'm going to do it for you. Powerful video shows family singing praise to God. And I don't mean to sound flippant when I say this, but you know, because it's tragic why they are singing. And it's also tragic what they're singing. So,
yeah.
Praise to God from the ashes of their burned LA home. Trans woman has 6 ribs removed. Hi, Mileage, you in there somewhere? Don't even start.
Oh no. Albert's in there.
Albert.
Just as creative.
Yeah, I know. There's Albert. I'm going in the rows of what do I want to say here? Not rank or anything like that. Rank.
Cranky is with us tonight in the audience, so everyone be on their best behavior for that story, please.
Oh, you see, now you instigating. That's what you're doing.
No.
That's instigation. This is people people chomping at the bit at a chance. It was like, oh, so please hurry up and get to that article about the girl with the ribs. Let us at them ribs. Let us at them ribs. Yeah, Albert is come on, I'm just gonna say it bluntly. He's not as naughty.
He's too tired to be funny. Never, Albert.
Funny as it is, that's not the issue. It's naughty. Let me see, and then we got House Republican. But you know what? What I appreciate though is that our homies here can be naughty and still keep PG-13.
Amen.
That's right, man. You know how we do. So anyway. House Republicans launch bill to approve purchase of Greenland. All right, Trump. Okay, Greenland. It doesn't mean that whole body is meant for it to be a putting green, just cause it's called Greenland. Okay, but you know we'll talk about that in a bit. So Steve Bannon goes berserk on Elon Musk. You guys have the article there if you want to check it out. If you might already be familiar with it, heck, you can. And once again, man, this is I'm not here to give you guys the news. I'm trying to learn some things myself. So if you guys have some insight into these things, by all means, please let me know. But according to Steve Bannon, who's a bit of a hothead, I'm loosely, I don't want to say, not even loosely. I've my connection to Steve Bannon, it seems like I remember, I don't really know. I can't remember. I know it seems like I would, but I don't. I remember like working with him before. I don't know, or maybe doing a panel or something.
It seemed like it was a panel.
So it seemed like it was a panel, but we it's like I was a contributor at Breitbart, and him also being affiliated or associated with Breitbart, and also I think there was America's Voice News. We were also on America's Voice News, but at any rate, doesn't seem like I ever really heard that he was a pleasant person to be around, and I don't know. It seems like I would remember. A bit of a hothead, and but hey, he's armed to the tooth, man, with with information, and I guess if he's the kind of guy that you want in your corner if you're going to go into political discourse. But he's I guess quite a pit bull as far as that goes, and but. He's going off on Elon Musk, and I guess I can kind of understand why. And I think maybe it's one of those things where the approach, the concern is warranted. Maybe the approach on how to resolve it, it maybe could have a more finesse as far as that goes. Like, okay, let me just get down to the nitty gritty of it. So Elon Musk, with this, when we're talking about brain draining, these other nations, the best and the brightest, people who really have something to bring to the table, we're going to have them, do work here in the United States. Steve Bannon, has a heavy aversion as far as this goes, and sees this as a liability to America, and Elon Musk, basically having a lot of leverage in terms of implementing this strategy of having these foreign workers, if you will, in these capacities, dealing with our technologies and things like that, and Americans losing, Americans not seeming to have a fair shot, and I think it's kind of weird because Steve Bannon is accusing Elon Musk of being a huge racist because he's South African. I don't know how much of that sentiment he's brought, over here from apartheid, South Africa. If Bannon wants to hang that over his head, but Steve Bannon sounds just as nationalistic when he's like, those jobs belong to Americans, and he's because the thing is, y'all, what makes America great, and the thriving nation that it is, is immigration legally, all right? Having people, from different nations come to the table. What makes it even greater, though, is when people from different nations understand what America is. Don't be coming over here with ideas of making America reflective of your nation. America is an exceptional nation for certain reasons, and we want to keep it that way. But I see where Steve Bannon sees these things as, like I said, as a liability and a threat to the job market with people having these skills. But what I would posit is this, Steve, instead of being so hung up on what Elon Musk is doing, trying to make these threats at him and stuff like that is a poor way to go around it. I would say put that energy into these people, these Americans who have this good. And I'm gonna step on some toes here, man. I'm gonna step on some toes. But if we got conservatives out there who keeps talking about how freedom isn't free and how we got to be able to make sacrifices and stuff like that, then what I'm suggesting to you should really make sense. When you got these people out there who are getting these degrees and getting these credentials in these fields, you need to go into it first with a labor of love. You need to be prepared to, you have to understand, you're not just competing in the market with skills. You're competing with what your skill is worth. You have to be able to compete with that. You understand? You got this skill, and you're probably really, really good at it. All right? But there's somebody across the pond that's just as good at what you do as you are, and they're willing to charge less. Okay, so you're not just competing in skill, you got to compete in how much you're gonna charge. So Steve should be like, look, you people who are going into the workforce with these skills, you better be prepared to compete. You better be able to, you need to be willing to drop your price. Okay, drop your price.
Yeah.
And then from there, prove your worth at that company. And if you prove your worth, trust me, you'll make more. All right, you will get paid more, or other people will be offering you more. Okay, you go ahead and you make your stamp in that company, and as you go in and you negotiate your wage, you say, look, man, this is my schedule. I work here for this long. I produce these numbers and stuff like that. This is what you're gonna pay me. Okay, listen. Once again, man, I say it all the time, man, because it's so true. Economics 101, man. You want to make more money, charge less. There it is. Get in there, man, charge less. Give yourself a chance to get in there and prove your worth. Okay? It'd be better. I think Steve, instead of trying to be such a blowhard going there and trying to threaten Elon Musk with all this sort of stuff, put him in check, dude. Heck, man, I mean, Elon Musk already knows that. He would agree. Elon Musk is like, he went and he tanked people at Twitter, man, and said, look, man, you want to work here? You show that you actually appreciate working here.
That's true.
Put in work, man. Put in weight. I'll pay you.
Yeah.
You know, that's it. But it's America, man. It's got all this pride in what they think and what they think they're owed as a wage. You know what I'm saying? So, but okay, look, you already got. And Steve, you should take this into consideration, man. You already got these people who are they want to get their credentials in these skills, man. But a lot of these people they want a nation where things are afforded to them. You know what I'm saying? It's like they want free health care. Mm-hmm. They want the free education. They want their loans and stuff forgiven. You know, they want a higher paying wage for stuff that they want for free. Does that make sense?
No.
But that's what we got. You know? So I don't blame. It's like, yeah, man, sure, I'll outsource. Why not? You know, instead of hiring some spoiled brat that just thinks that they were going to come in and they're entitled to all this stuff and they want their education for free anyway, they want everything for free, but they want a high wage. What the hell you want a high wage for? You know? Get in here and prove yourself. Prove it. And then we'll talk about, you know, bumping your wage up. That would be the way. If you want to offset outsourcing, do that. That'll kill the outsourcing. But no, you want to do it the other way, like coming after Elon and making threats at him and stuff like that, and whichever, like that's going to change some stuff. So anyway, you know, like for me, you know, I'm looking at, y'all know that I've butthurt for a long time about wanting to be a career musician. You know, it's like, man, I'm practically, you know, like me trying to sell my music. I'm like, here, you want it for free? I just want to get my music out there. I just want to get it out there. It's like, I'm not trying to charge $9 an album or anything like that, or a 99 cents per song, or on Spotify, like maybe I'll get a couple of pennies for X amount of record sales and stuff like that. No, here. You know? If people like it at some point, you know, maybe they'll make me a donation or something. Like they'll drop a couple of coins in the guitar case, and I just want to share my music, you know. And if God willing, if enough people like start hearing it, because you know, like I said, you know, my ability to promote is blocked. But enough people start hearing it, you know, maybe it'll start to get like a snowball effect, and it's like, dang, man, it's like I really dig what you're doing. I support what you're doing here. You know, I'll buy your album for you know, a few bucks. You know, why not? So, and you just get in there and prove yourself. You know, prove it. That kind of stuff breeds trust. You don't want to just be like an asset in terms of your skill and stuff like that. You want to be trusted, man. You want to be trusted in that company. You go in there, you say, yeah, I'm willing to work for this much. You know, I'll do it. Let's go. Let's get to work. And you start doing that, man. You got trust, man. You got skills, man. Before you know it, your wage will be going up. So, anyway, What else we got?
What do y'all think about the H-1B visa program? I'm
What-
asking the chat, what do they think?
Yeah.
I don't know what to make of it. It seems like it could be good for the country, but I don't know.
Well,
Not too many of them. I mean, obviously, we need the jobs to be for Americans mostly. But
exactly. I mean, there's a trade-off to everything. There's
Yeah.
pros and cons to it. I think it's one of those things where maybe it'll force Americans to be more humble and be like, you know what? Okay, yeah. Let me just go ahead and bring these prices down. If I hope to work, I got to be prepared to compete. You know,
Yeah.
I got to charge a competitive price. It's just like any place else, man. When you go shopping, what you gonna do? You're gonna like hit up a couple of different stores that have the same product, and you look for the one that has the lowest price. We all do it. You know, don't act like it's like somebody's trying to cheat you just because they might want you to work for less. You do the same thing. Ain't you gonna go out looking for a bargain? You're gonna look for the outlet that charges the less for the item that you want. You do the same thing. Don't be a hypocrite. All right. So, and maybe it could be a good thing. You know, it could be a good thing, you know, where it's like we have these people coming in and you learn your lesson and stuff like that. In terms of like caps or quotas, you know, how many you're allowed to bring in for, you know, I don't know. I don't know what would be a good number for that.
It's capped right now. I think it's 100,000. Red Force says India graduates over 1 million new engineers every single year, so it's only natural that American employers are going to look to that pool when Americans aren't going into that field. Yeah,
Wow.
that's very true.
Thank you. There's that. Yes. Yeah, it's like I want to say something like Joe Biden. It's like Joe Biden makes the super condescending comment saying, hey, you can't go into a 7-Eleven without hearing a slight.
Yeah.
And it's like I would say, heck no, man. It's like you can't go to India without finding somebody who's got a protractor or something. they know what to do with them things. Anyway, nerds. All right. It's the soft bigotry of high intellectual expectations. All right, so
Yeah. Jay Thompson said, I'm really surprised Tom McDonald hasn't reached out to y'all. And Mark said, Zoe and Tom McDonald would be a killer collaboration. Only need one good song, like the Richmond in Richmond guy. And I think I know why he hasn't reached out to you. Is because you're too Christ forward. It's what everybody says. People have said it. You're too Christ forward. They don't want to be all Christian-y.
Yeah, and I appreciate that you guys, would consider that being a good collaboration, or like thinking.
I thought so too.
Think of me in the same light. Tom McDonald is too Satan forward. He's more Satan forward than he is Christ forward.
Seed.
Huh?
You could plant a seed.
Yeah, it's because I mean I've looked up Tom. I've talked about him before. When the Word of God is basically saying stay away from anything that resembles evil and stuff like that, but Tom has gravitated to what looks like evil. And having like a baby line of clothing that's reflective of his history of being an alcoholic and stuff like that. It's like, dude, that doesn't make for good baby wear. Because I don't want, forgive me, y'all, because I don't want to be a downer here or anything like that, or pee in the punch bowl. Being a Christian or being a conservative, it takes more than just disagreeing with the left. And I think a lot of people, Republican voters or people on the right, I think they see a person who says something that's contrary to the leftist point of view or admonishing the leftist point of view. And I'm not saying that about necessarily saying that about anybody here, but I do see a lot of it abroad. Is that a person who expresses disdain or admonishes the left for the way that they think, that automatically means like it's conservative thought, and that's not exactly true. You can disagree with the left profusely and still not be a conservative. It doesn't make that thought process conservative. So Tom McDonald, I don't know. I don't know what sort of collaboration, we could do. I never really thought about it. Like I said, I've seen his work. It's not work that particularly interests me. But I don't want to say I'm open-minded or anything like that. If it's an opportunity to hey, we have a discussion. It's like, look, man, this is this and this is this. There's your experience, the things that you've experienced, and then there's that shapes your worldview, and then or even your experience with, or what you would want to call your truth, and then there's the truth. Yeah. And a lot of times, people like this, their experience is their experience, and that's what it is, and that's the worldview that they stick to. But yeah, but once again, I definitely appreciate the vote of confidence, that folks thinks that would make an awesome collaboration. Yeah. And if I could be instrumental in, because that's what we want to do here. We want to plant seeds.
Amen. If the Lord facilitates it, great.
Yeah. Be salt and light, effective salt and light. And, he's making, he's obviously made a big splash in the culture. A lot of people dig what he does. Mm-hmm. But, I'm not sure if it's for the right reasons. That they dig what he does. Let me put it to you like this: like you got a lot of young men out there that are fawning over Andrew Tate. And
Christian young men.
Yeah, Christian young men. Is it for the right reasons? What do you guys think? Do you think Andrew Tate is a figure to emulate? But it's like this. I see these people along the same lines. Where they're attracting these young viewers and influencing them and stuff like that. And I'm looking at this, and I'm looking at it the same way that Paul looked at the super influencers of his days, right? Paul, he's like what did he call them? Super preachers.
Yeah.
Right? Basically calling them like super preachers.
Super apostles, wasn't it?
Yeah, super apostles. Like super apostles. But these people, they had a large audience, but they were following after, it's like, dude, you're following after something false. You're taken by these super influencers, man. You're taking, and Paul's like, man, you guys are just, you're deceived. And I see Andrew Tate the same way. I see Tom McDonald the same way. I see them all the same way. So it's, please forgive me because I don't want to sound like all holier thou and too stuck up for these people and stuff like that. They're probably too stuck up for me. But yeah.
That's what usually happens.
Yeah, it's usually what it is. So what was I? Yeah. Let's check out scholar and contributor to Upside Down Kingdom Study Bible. I don't think any women submit in the Old Testament. So if you guys, let me see if I can read a little bit of, if they've got some transcript action. Back up. I'm trying to open that up in Chrome, and that's going to mess things up. Let me see. Back up to this tab here. All right. Let's try opening that up again. Man, I can't remember who brought up Tom McDonald. You got me sound like a fuddy-duddy, man. Now I feel all bad. You a doo-doo. You a punch bowl doo-dooer. Now, people in the Zoloft, they're hardcore, man. They can take it. Anyway, so our boy, so this is coming from Not the Bee. And this, let me see, Zondervan's New Upside Down Kingdom. They're gonna go into Stranger Things. Okay, we've already covered one of the interviews with a contributor to Zondervan's newest Upside Down Kingdom Study Bible. Okay, so it's the newest. Mm-hmm. And this one from Jill Firth from Ridley College. Ooh, she a college girl. She's like an accredited theologian.
She's a scholar.
Let's see, college is maybe even more of a doozy than the last one. And so according to her, I don't think any women submit in the Old Testament For example, I'm not saying anything about the New Testament, but in Old Testament, there's a whole difference. Let me see. And see if I got any quotes from her. There's the video, and I should have maybe I just didn't feel like typing out anything. And I was hoping that there'd be like a transcript in here. Come on. I mean, given that 90% of women Bible studies seem to be on Ruth and Esther, female heroes of the faith, I can say it does not feel like this feminist message is, okay, that's not her. But, okay, so let me put it to you like this. During the course of her interview, she invokes Ruth, and she invokes, who was the other?
Esther.
Was it Esther? Okay.
Yeah.
Now, y'all, when you listen to the interview, you want to talk about somebody just twisting scripture, trying to make scripture fit her worldview and her narrative. Oh man, this woman is a witch.
Yeah.
Okay, she's a witch. I'm not being hyperbolic or anything like that. She's a witch. Mm-hmm. Okay, and speaking, trying to prophesy against what the Word of God says. That makes she's accursed, y'all. She cursed. All right. So let's start with Ruth. Matter of fact, she's gonna try to say that Ruth is, didn't submit. What do you think it was when she goes to Boaz and she has to put her head under the sheet? High mileage, don't. But for real, it's like, what do you think that is? And she gonna try to say that's not her being submissive. Yes, it is, right? And the only reason why she would try to change something like that is because she thinks it's something to be something to shame of, and she's trying to venerate Ruth, trying to make this like it's not an act. Y'all, this act of submission by Ruth led to our salvation. Her submission was already an exalted act. Why are you trying to take away from the glory of that? It's like, this is foolishness. And people buy this stuff. People invest money into this stuff, y'all. That's a shame, man. So Ruth, she already wrong. Come on, y'all. Y'all know. She wrong. All right? And then who's she going to try to draw? She's going to try to draw on Esther. Esther wasn't a... Y'all, even when Esther goes in to go before Xerxes, y'all, she did that out of submission to the law. She knew, as she said, look, hey, if I perish, I perish. All right. This is her being totally submitted to the law. All right. She didn't, if she was going to be defiant, she would have done something totally different. But she understood, if I go in there, I know that I'm going in there to die. All right. Submission, y'all. Yeah. Okay. But she wants to try to make it like it's not an act of submission or something like that. And yeah. Okay. I mean, or you want to see it as a rebellious act? You want to try. Do you think that Esther was being rebellious? Okay, so she's going to go in there. She's going to go in there against protocol. Okay, fair enough. That's an act of rebellion. But a rebel is going to go in there with disdain for the protocol, number one, and is going to go in there with the assumption to change protocol. Change the status quo. They don't like the way things are. They're rebelling against this system. She didn't go in there to rebel against the system. She didn't go in there to try to change the system. She was going there to change a lie. Okay, she was going there to change a perversion in the system, sure. But in doing so, she submitted. She went in there with the mindset of submission. She understood that when I go in there, I'm not going to go in there with my guns blazing in protest. Going there to stop, to silence the king, to give him my address and make him listen to what I have to say. before he makes a decision on what to do with me. If I go in there and I'm struck dead, then that's just the way it is. But I'm going to go in there and I am going to submit to his blessing to hear me out. You see what I'm saying? So this book is a perversion, y'all. It's full on perversion. And unfortunately, it sells.
Yeah.
You know? So there's that. What do you guys think?
And the interviewer is asking, oh, well, does that make the Bible stand out that there were these women with their own agency? And she said, oh, no, there was lots of priestesses and prophetesses at the time. So the Bible just fits right in with all that. Yeah,
like the Bible is just modeling itself after goddess worshiper, just trying to, hey, let's fit with the times. And it's like, y'all, the Bible lets us know, it doesn't hide that stuff from us. The Bible lets us know that there were religions long before Moses was called to codify what the Lord had dictated to him, okay? You had many nations, you had religions, you got goddess worship is all in there. And goddess worship, just like any other false worship, any false god or anything like that, is going to go very sideways.
Yep.
Okay. So even in the goddess worship and stuff like that, you know what that requires of women? Submission. You know, they gotta submit to the protocols of their religion, even if it's goddess worship. You're gonna have to have some followers, worshipers, of that religion. So, but just and she tries to, I guess maybe in the New Testament, maybe she thinks that women are just too submissive. So we're not going to talk about the New Testament or anything like that. We're going to talk about the Old Testament and the submission and the how these women didn't submit in the Old Testament. It's like, wow, okay, that's fascinating. And like I said, the examples that she picked from, it's like, you really got it. You trying to make some stretches here, girlfriend, about all that sort of stuff. So anyway, and what she got here? What? No, okay, no, that was never mind. That was another story. Was there anything else that was
just really want to warn people, if you see any of your mothers, sisters, anybody who has this, please remove it from them.
Yeah, just be like, look here.
Because I'm sure it's being, it's got its own little section in the Christian bookstores because it was just released and celebrated.
You may have to go Joan Rivers on it. Can we talk? Yeah. Okay, what else we got here? We got suspected case for devastating Palisades fires revealed, crushes Democrat narrative. Let's read a little bit of that. Let's see. An exhaustive investigation into the circumstances surrounding the Palisades wildfires is suggesting a multi-level failure by firefighting authorities to contain. No, I don't care about renaming the Gulf of Mexico. Okay, so have initially been a preventable outbreak, shooting holes in theories proffered by California Democrats that they were powerless to stop the devastating results of climate change. Okay, y'all, let me stop right there. These things, man, what's been going on, y'all? This has been a long game, okay? A long game, and Democrats are just getting there. They're just covering their tracks. We know it's been a long game for a long time, and the issues with the water. I mean, I'm talking about acre feet of water, just acre footage, just going out, just dumping it, right? Man, we was talking about this. Gavin Newsom going to try to act like, this whole thing about the Delta smelt is some new charge that we coming out with. It's like, what are you talking about? The Delta smelt? It's been going on for a long time.
Yeah, he acted like, what's the Delta smelt?
Yeah, it's ridiculous, dude. Come on, man. It was an excuse of why they was diverting this water, to make sure that the Delta smelt can make sure that they could thrive.
Yes.
Right. You know that California, a lot of aspects of California is a drought-prone state. It's got semi-arid regions on it. You might want to, but you're going to tell people that they can't store rainwater.
Yeah.
Personally.
At your own house.
Yeah, you can't store rainwater. Yeah, so for real? For what good reason would you tell somebody that they can't store rainwater? Ain't no good reason for it, man. There just ain't. All right? So they make it to where? They make it where they're going to have these issues with water. And not watering your lawn, I don't think is a good answer for that. I mean, reason you don't want to, of course, get out there and just just run water all day, sure. But I'm no meteorologist or anything like that, or whatever that has to do with the weather. But just keeping water in your pipes, I don't think that's necessarily a great solution either. You might want to expose that water to elements, so it can evaporate, so we can have some distillation and get that water back up in the atmosphere. Why not? Water your lawn, man. Water it. Okay, you're gonna have some, you're gonna have runoff that's stuff is supposed to go back into the water supply anyway. And you're supposed to have a good treatment plans. You guys are always wanting funding for clean water and stuff like that. We need more funding and for Department of Water and stuff like that. You want that. So you should have an efficient program to be able to make sure that the water is clean. It's not like you're really going to lose the reason why you're probably losing the water is because you keep routing it to the ocean.
Yep. That's
why. So you get that water exposed to the elements, man. Expose it to the elements, it'd be fine. And of course, I'm speculating. Forgive me, I don't mean to sound like an authority on those things, but I'm watching how they do it their way, and it doesn't seem to be working out very good. All right, so I don't know, but these are the experts. These are the experts that make sure that somehow made sure that they didn't have enough water to put out these fires. It's this state that is so anal, and they love anal, right? They're so anal, man, about regulations of that they're gonna turn away trucks coming in from Oregon because I guess in terms of all the standards that they want them to have with their fire trucks and what they're gonna be bringing in, they're gonna turn away trucks for that, for an emergency. Look, I can understand, the trucks, constantly being on your highways and stuff like that, and they don't match the standards that you have in California, but this is an emergency. All right? But you're going to be all hung up on regulations as far as that goes, but you're not, somehow those regulations didn't translate into making sure that you had all your safety protocols covered to make sure that you had enough water for them hydrants. Okay. Or in some cases, making sure that there wasn't any hydrants at all. No hydrants, because them weed shops. Make sure you ain't gonna. We're gonna have to take those hydrants down because the weed shops are stealing the water.
Yeah, in LA County, they were actually stealing the water.
Yeah.
And incurring fines of $5,000, and they said, "Well, it's cost of doing business. We're still going to steal the water." So they just removed the fire hydrants completely. Yeah,
they include that in their revenue schedule. It's like, we'll go ahead and do it. It's less to pay for that than it is, for. It's like, wow, So, but this ties in with Blowtorch dude. It's like, just speaking of these weed shops, and of course, if everybody just smoked weed, there'd be less crime. If everybody would be more relaxed, and we'd be more brotherly and neighborly and all that sort of stuff. They steal in water, and weed shops, despite people being all mellow and all that sort of stuff, weed shops have armed security. What do you need armed security for? When we was in California, we go by the weed shops. You see security guards out there, and they pack it. Why? Don't you guys trust your customers? And what I said this years ago. But they talk about, well, crime would be cut down and there'd be there wouldn't be illegal sales of marijuana if we made it legal. I was like, well, legal for who? Is it legal for minors? Right? And I said, you're going to have people buying marijuana, and they're going to buy this legal marijuana. They're going to buy this legal stuff that you said was supposed to be for medicinal purposes. They're going to buy it and they're going to sell it to minors. And that's what they're doing. But, But hey, but you even a lot of people out there who call themselves conservatives say, hey man, it's all about liberty and stuff like that, and we should be able to, it should be free, and it's gonna be lesser government. I was like, no, it isn't. It's not, is it? The more marijuana becomes legal, the bigger government gets, doesn't it? Yeah. So, but whatever. Like I said, just because you think different from leftists doesn't mean you're conservative. All right. But you got this right here with these fires, man. And people setting, these fires being set on purpose. I guess since in California, they don't have right to carry, and probably getting big trouble, and do get in trouble if they defend themselves. But hey, what they need is if they an armed citizenry. You have an armed citizenry with those people who are guarding them weed shops, and if any of you weed shop security guards see somebody out there setting fire, you should probably shoot them. Yeah. Shoot them. Weed shops. You've done your community a disservice by stealing water. So much so that they had to retire fire hydrants in your area because you're thieves. Anyway, congratulations, America. Making pharmacia legal, putting the country deeper under sorcery, which is what pharmacia means. Putting it deeper under sorcery and people under spells. We're just going down the doo-doo hole.
Yeah. The story is, or the account is that there were people who were doing fireworks for New Year's Eve, and there was a fire started in this ridge where Pacific Palisades is. There was a fire started, and on the 7th, I guess it was their satellite images, because they're trying to figure out how did this thing start in Pacific Palisades. It was from New Year's Eve fireworks. The firemen responded to it, put it out, but it had been smoldering. Mm-hmm. So this newest fire, Pacific Palisades, they said the foot of the fire started very close to where the last fire was on New Year's Eve. So they think, looking at the firefighters' communications to each other, they think that it wasn't actually out all the way, and just that strong wind came up and reignited it.
Okay, and really quick on Instagram, thank you guys for tuning in. I see we got that name was hard to say, but I said it already. We got Boss Beans that tune in. Beans. We got you guys remember Airplane? All right. What was that? One of my favorite lines in there is like, "You ever seen a grown man?" I can't even say what I. You ever seen a grown man naked?
What about the Gladiator movies? Classic lines of our generation.
Yes, indeed. And it looks like a big Tylenol. All right, so all that to say, yeah, David Zucker dropped in, man. David Zucker came in to watch me make a fool of myself. And then we got GG Squared, Brian, man, who's dropping in some input in here, man. Groovy input also. And awesome input, actually. But I'm not going to read any of it because I'm the host and I got to keep myself looking good. And we got Orange Crush up in here, 67. Nawa, Tobinja. Okay, some of that. I don't know. Anyway. Okay, so some of them names, man, I'm telling you. Looks like, it just looks like somebody spread mashed potatoes on the screen or something like that trying to read them names. Okay, now back to with these fires. This stuff is engineered, man. Like I said, this is a long game. Going all the way back to the Delta Smelt, and you know that they whine over the old growth. Okay, now and not only that, man. Listen, and I'm gonna talk about this at length more, man, in the Zopium Den when we get to it. What's homegirl's name? Karen Bass. Y'all, look. Number one, if somebody like Karen Bass is mayor, she ain't got no business being mayor. All right, according to the Constitution, she's got no business being mayor. All right, when the Constitution describes rebellion, it's describing people like her. Okay, and if you look at her history, she ain't got no business holding any office. All right. So but you got people out there, particularly like, Republicans think that she's just some idiot who's like a deer caught with her, like a deer caught in headlights, because they're like, do you realize this is what happened and all that sort of stuff? Because you were in Africa. What were you doing in Africa? Like, oh my God, it's like, they're so offended because she went to Africa. Oh my God. Like they're gonna crap out a freaking purple Twinkie because she went to Africa. What you doing in Africa? Okay. Anyway, so yeah, she was in Africa. She went to Ghana, and
for a wedding.
Yeah, and so while America's burning, what do you care? Right? What do you care that she went to Africa? It's like, you hate LA. You hate that place. You got all these right wingers out there. You hate Africa. Meanwhile, they're the same people who talk about, I wish California would just drop into the ocean. I hate California. California, oh, those leftists, I just wish they would all die. I wish they would just slope off and I wish that earthquake would hit and they would just fall into the ocean. Oh my God, man, what were you doing in Africa while LA was burning? Make up your freaking mind.
That's true.
I get tired of the inconsistency with these people, man. I get tired of it. So anyway, so they got a problem with, the black mayor who was in Black Africa and stuff like that while LA was burning. And then people wonder why. It's like, man, those Republicans, they really sound like a bunch of racists, don't they? And people wonder why. It's just because their cultural approach is just dumb. They just have a dumb cultural approach. And they make themselves look bad. So, but at any rate, but she is a twisted, evil woman. All right, she is. Yep. She's a twisted, evil woman. And this stuff is engineered, man. You think, listen, the puppet masters, man, the string pullers, the white supremacists, who are the Democrat Party. White supremacy is a real thing, y'all. White supremacy is a real thing. Okay? And white supremacy has puppets. And she's a puppet. All right? And what this is, what this is supposed to look like. These people, they craft who is going to be in office. It is meant to make it look like blacks are incompetent. All right, you put black people in charge. You got a whole bunch of especially on the Republican voting side. All they're seeing now when they see black people, you know what they see? DEI hires. That's becoming like that's the trend. That's the language. Well, there you go, another DEI hire. All right, and that's it. But see, Democrats have engineered it that way. All right, they want y'all. I'm telling you, man, what's going on with the Democrat Party is basically the National Manson family. They want blacks eliminated. They want to control their population to keep them a manageable voter stock. Why do you think black community's been 13% of the population for decades? Because they want to keep them as a manageable voting stock and keep them as a manageable population to be able to influence the rest of the country with. That's why the Democrat Party keeps a stronghold on the black. They're stronger than any other demographic in America. All right. And they put people like this in office all over the country. Okay. To show blazing incompetence. It's not incompetence. Okay. It's engineered. This is an orchestration. These people are total sellouts. All right. This was part of the Negro Project set in place years ago by the Democrat Party. All right. Headed up by people like the Democrat Margaret Sanger. You remember what she said? We don't want the word to go out that we're looking to exterminate the black community. Yep. Right. We're going to use the colored ministers to make sure that we keep the rebellious in line. All right. This stuff was put in place a long time ago. And these people, they're drones for the Democrat Party. The Democrat Party got to them a long time ago. It's not in the DNA, y'all. It's in the conditioning. All right? It's in the conditioning. You see, a lot of Republicans, they've lost sight of that. They don't understand that these people, they're enveloped by Democrat control. And if they're able to make it past the abortion clinic and make it into their classroom, that's where they can start controlling them from right there. They got their brains from right there. All right, and they've been conditioning them all the way through their teenage years into their adult years. All right, Republicans don't really know nothing about that. They just think that, you got a lot of Republicans. I know a lot of Republicans think it because you got people out there like Charlie Kirk promoting it. And you know, a lot of people love Charlie Kirk. All right. But you let people out there thinking that way is basically you're going to hold people with this bell curve mindset. That this is just how we are. All right. So these people like, you know, Karen Bass, who's doing what she's doing, y'all, it's on purpose. There's a reason why, you know, there's like, no, we don't want to cut that old growth. We don't want you to make fire breaks. Okay. There's a reason why it takes us so long to have freeways put in all that sort of stuff. There's a reason for all that. We talk about what Gavin Newsom's got this Marshall Plan.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you're starting to see what this stuff is all about. And what's his interpretation of a Marshall Plan anyway? You know, his LA or his California or whatever 2.0. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it sounds kind of familiar. You know, and I'm not saying that they took like some, you know, laser beam and they set fires to this place. It's like we already know that we have an invasion. It's no surprise that you see somebody out there running with a blowtorch, and he's probably a decoy himself. All right, but that's what these people have done, right? You got an illegal immigrant running around there, and it's what does it say? Did it say hasn't been charged? Has not been charged with arson? Correct. Okay, so what did I just say earlier? People like Karen Bass. She ain't got no business being in office. It'll tell you in the Constitution, you are not supposed to give aid and comfort to invaders. This is rebellion. That's what it calls it. Yeah. She's an active rebel, but no. But here's the thing. This is what you know what Republicans call her? They call her a radical. She's radicalized. They get the language wrong. And that's why people think the parties will switch sides. Because Republicans were founded by radicals. Actual radicals. Radicalism is at the core of how the Republican Party started. Okay? These people aren't radicals. According to the Constitution that Republicans claim to love so much and know so well and revere so much and all that sort of stuff. You got to make sure that you know the Constitution. Right? So much so that they would applaud somebody who would come in, Gerald Flynn, comes in and says, you need to put the Bible down and read the Constitution. Everybody in that building should have left. No, they stood there and they sucked it up.
It was a church.
In a church, they love it. Yeah. This is why we lose in our country. You know? But despite that article that they love so much, that charter that they love so much, they refuse to use the language of it. The Constitution calls these people rebellious. It says they're in rebellion. No, they're radicals. They're radicalized. They're radical Democrats. They're radical communists. They're radical socialists. They're radical. They wear this word out. And when you tell them that it's what the actual meaning of it is, they'll try to tell you that it makes no difference. Right? It's like you guys use this word as if you get a nickel every time you say it. Right. You know, but when you actually go, it just, you know, it doesn't, they don't want to hear it. You know, they just want to keep calling these people radicals. And it's like, okay, well, you wonder why the people think the party switch sides and don't trust you for what Democrats have done. You know, whatever. So, you got to have me really irritated for me to say whatever, man. I hate that word. It's so condescending. But yeah, no surprise there that this person hasn't been charged. Because I'm telling y'all, this stuff it's engineered, man. Well, like the
thousands of homeless people who are everywhere with their fire pits to keep warm, they're allowed to do that. Come on now. Everybody else has a burn ban in Southern California, especially in LA County. But the homeless people are allowed to have their fire pits, and they will set up anywhere. They will set up in your front yard. If you have a $10 million mansion, they will set up anywhere. Yeah. So this person with this blowtorch, man, all he was doing was just trying to find a place to keep warm. Yeah. There you go. Yeah. Why not? I wouldn't be surprised if that's what the DA decides. Sure enough. He's trying to do the community a favor. It's cold out and he's just trying to set a fire so other people can gather around and have s'mores. There you go. So let's see. Powerful video shows family singing praise to God. Singing praise. Oh, come back here, article. Where'd you go? You get back here this instant. Let's see. Open that back. Okay. Blowtorch. Where'd you go? Okay, there we go.
shows family singing praise to God from the ashes of their burned LA home. This is another area where I'm going to be stepping on some toes. I don't care. Anyway, yeah, I do. I need all the viewers I can get. I can't afford to lose the little that I do have. But it is what it is. So in Altadena, this is Altadena, California, a Catholic family who lost their homes in the LA area fires come together to sing a heartfelt Christian song. It doesn't say it in quotes, but I'm going to put the air quotes around Christian song. Trying to be as delicate, if you will, about this as possible. So Wildfire stood together in a rubble of what's their home and sang praise songs. Okay, this part says praise songs. The video uploaded by Gianna Halpin and shared by journalist Sachin Rose shows the family, the Halpin family, singing Regina Caeli in Latin, according to the fundraiser set up for the family. The Halpins lived in their home for 35 years before it was destroyed Tuesday night. Let me see. Yeah, so the thing is you have a lot of these people out there that are calling this a Christian song. With all due respect, y'all, it's not a Christian song, but you see the people saying there was another fire, LA Christians, praise God. Okay, Catholicism is not Christianity.
Yeah, the name of the song is Regina Caeli, and forgive me if I'm pronouncing my Latin wrong, Queen of Heaven.
Yeah, we gonna get there. We gonna get there. And LA Christians praise God in the rubble of their burned down home. Only those with real faith can sing beautifully in praise of our blessed Lord on the ashes of what used to be their own home. Okay, so I know that offends some people to say that Catholicism is not Christianity. Well, it isn't. And this song, being a Christian song or praising God, is misappropriated. The song is directed towards Mary, who is assumed to be the Queen of Heaven, and the Bible says no such thing. For these, it's not the family aside. And of course our hearts go out to them. It's a tragedy, man. I'm telling you, man. That's a nightmarish thing, man. For the thought of your home, going up in smoke, man.
Yeah.
But my contention is for those who don't understand the difference and look at this and say that this is Christian and it's singing praise to God when it's not. And we're talking about, singing praise to the Queen of Heaven, y'all. Y'all, that's blasphemy. It's just call it what it is. Okay. And I know it's not, and y'all, it might be something that you might want to think about. This is culturally acceptable. You know what I'm saying? The majority of the culture is going to accept this. Why do you think the Word of God says that the road to destruction is wide? Why do you think the Word talks about the gate being wide? Because this is widely accepted. All right, people are going to embrace this. When the Lord talks, and when He's talking to Peter, and that's another thing, how people have this misconception of what established the papacy. When they were talking about, the gates of hell will not prevail against the church. What is the gate of hell? The gate of hell is basically it's a gate of delusion. It's this gate that makes you think that, you know, the way to heaven is universal. And there's a universal church. Okay? There's a universal church that all are supposed to gather under. And in this church, this church will be the premier. You know, this church is the premier, but it's a universal church. And it lets you know that, you know, under these doctrines, you know, we will let you know that there are ways to get to heaven. You know, we will model what repentant or doing your penance is and all that sort of stuff. And how you can conform your faith or how you can adapt your faith into with ours, as long as you make sure that ours is the premier, you know, and whatnot. You know, that's why you have a lot of people in Catholicism, and, you know, they subscribe to different things. They incorporate different languages, you know, whether it be like the ideas of karma, you know, or incorporating ideas of from Buddhism to Hinduism, New Age philosophies and stuff like that into their universal church, so-called church. All right, and this, when we're talking Catholicism, I'm trying to tell y'all, Catholicism is the largest organization of goddess worship in the world. It's not about Jesus is just a means, is a validator to the one they actually worship, which is Mary. All right, she is their redeemer. She is their high saint. She is their high priestess. All right, and under this high priestess, you can pray to any patron saint that may have intercession for your concerns, and take it to her, and pray to her ultimately that she would influence God to do what it is that we want. That's blasphemy. All right. So what saddens me is that people associate Catholicism with Christianity.
Yeah.
If anything, it should be called, I don't know, Marianity or something like that. It's because it's not, you know, Christ is not the key figure here. Mary is. Mary is the one with the authority. That's usually why when you see pictures of Mary, she's always just usually with her holding Christ as a child. That right there is showing you that Mary is the one with the authority. She's the one who's supposed to be venerated more over Christ himself. She's the mother of God as far as they're concerned. Mary's not the mother of God. Mary is the mother of the human vessel of God. It's a big difference. God has always pre-existed Mary. Remember, y'all, if Mary was a goddess, then the birth of Christ shouldn't have been a surprise to her. God wouldn't have even needed to be involved. She's a goddess. She could facilitate her own conception, can't she? You know? So, but it was a total surprise to her, and she submitted to God as his servant. She says, I am your servant. She didn't say, I'm your mother. She didn't say, I'm your goddess. She didn't assume to have any sort of authority over God. This was a surprise to her. All right? So, but, and to make songs in worship or praise to Mary, exalting her to something that the Bible has never called her, that being the Queen of Heaven, that's just, you're doing it wrong. Yeah. You're doing it way wrong. But once again, y'all, I you know, we encourage, you know, prayers to all these people that they receive the Lord's peace and truth, the Lord's shalom, you know, to this family and his resolve to this family and his power of restoration, that they'll, you know, be able to be fruitful again. And I hope they, you know, realize that he alone is our high priest and he is the one to be followed, not a religion. You don't put a religion between you and Jesus. Yeah. He is the law to follow. All right. So I hope they come to that saving knowledge. What else we got here?
Tom Jensen says Maryites.
Mary. I think that rolls out better, man. Thank you. me see. And come on, Tabs. Tabs was like, no, you're the one who's slow. No, it's you.
Yeah, High Mileage Husband said Catholicism is more akin to polytheism. Yeah.
Thank you.
Have to agree.
Yeah, it is. It is. But it's more. Yeah, it's basically. I don't know, like Roman Shintoism or something. But yeah, good analogy, man. That's it. Where were we at? Okay, trans woman. Trans woman has 6 ribs. I guess if it wasn't so tragic, how does that saying go? If it wasn't so tragic, it'd be funny, or if it wasn't, or it's so tragic, it's funny. I don't know. But trans woman has 6 ribs removed in order to have a skinnier waist. Okay, 6. All right. Hey, look. I as a martial artist. I've studied anatomy and physiology, so we can really effectively know how to put the hurt on somebody. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, and all that to say, I don't really think that you have to be like deeply versed in such courses to know that removing facets of your ribs is not a good idea. I mean, because from here, like you want to go 3 ribs deep. I mean, dang man, it's what you got. Your stomach is going to need some protection, and your liver, your transverse colon. You might want to have some protection for these things, man. Your diaphragm. I mean, how long is this person going to be able to sustain this? I mean, I guess this person did go in for consultation, and I don't know. Maybe the doctor did the doctor be like, look, you'll be skinny for a little while, but this is going to cause you some serious discomfort. Some things are going to go really sideways, honey. if you did the doctor say, or was the doctor say, oh yes, I can hardly, but let's schedule you as soon as possible. Let's go through all the, not educate them about the prognosis, about what the things that the right. Adverse reactions, the adversity that their body is going to go through about this stuff. Let's just talk about your transition. Let's just talk about manifesting your idea and the schedule of what it's going to look like to get there. You'll get there, but let's not talk about the cost. We can talk about obviously this person didn't mind paying what $17,000. It was like $17,000. Where do these people get the money to do this, man?
Yeah, I'd like to know. It's kind of, I see these figures when we're reading about these trans stories, and I'm just baffled.
I guess, I guess it's really a rhetorical question. They most likely get the money like turning tricks. It's like, hey, you got a lot of perverts out there who, there's a lot of male prostitution out there. Okay, there's a lot of male prostitution, and their biggest customers are, other dudes. So that's probably a big part of how they get paid, and to be able to have these so-called surgeries, or they're surgeries, but whatever these augmentations they are.
Yeah.
And so this person is going to. I mean, what do you guys think, man? Am I off base here? I mean, this person is going to be looking at some serious physiological problems. The support system, for proper alignment. I mean, come on, man. The stress that it's going to put, on their spine, to do that. What sort of compensation is put in there for that? You can't put them things back.
Yeah.
You can't put that stuff back, man. And no pun intended. So I think, Now, this person assumes that it's going to give them a skinnier, waist.
Yeah, a feminine waist.
A nice, Okay, so now, I think there's more to it than that, though. It's like you just want to have them, the ribs removed so you can have some extra flexibility because, you want to.
Don't.
You know how like a cat is able to like reach, or a dog, or animals, in particular, just are able to reach. Yeah, all right. Yeah, you like it when your dog grabs on your leg and rubs up and down.
There are theories about that in the Twitter feed of this news story.
Yeah, admittedly. That's the first thing that popped up. It's like what I read. Trans woman has 6 ribs. This person is going to try it. That's what they want to do. I know what this
husband is just going. He left emojis.
He's appalled. Oh, I'm sorry, high mileage. For your sensitive virgin ears, I should have given a disclaimer that that we would be going down this road. I know you're scarred and going to need therapy.
He did arrive late, so he didn't hear the beginning part of the show. He also said, slanging some stuff, eh? And 99 Sketchy Thoughts said something that I didn't think about. He said, can you imagine the hernias in just really bad spots? Don't mind that. That's just my herniated liver. But yeah, you would think that would cause hernias because your anatomy is just all screwed up down there because I'm pretty sure you're supposed to have those 6 ribs as a guy.
Come on, y'all. Now, look, hey. So this kind of stuff is demonic.
Yes.
All right. This is demonic. This is one of those things that needs to be showcased because this person is targeting their ribs. All right. They're targeting their ribs. So when you got and this man is assuming to become a woman. Out of this man, he believes will come a woman. Right? He's targeting his ribs for that. So this is flying in the face of what God has decreed from the beginning.
Wow.
God had already said, man, God said, look, I made you a man and you a woman. God made 2 distinct creatures here. He didn't make a man to be interchangeable. It's like, yeah, you can become a woman at any time. No, I created male and female. I didn't create you to be both. All right. This is the first thing that God says about us, man. This is a biological, spiritual truth. That's why the word says we walk by faith, not by sight. It's because you can have proof in front of you. You can still have the faith to not believe it or believe it. That's why. It's still going to come down to faith. This person has all the evidence that this person is a male. He doesn't believe the proof. He doesn't accept the truth. By his faith that is totally corrupted, he assumes that he's something else against what God has decreed about us from the beginning. All right. And then from there, to make a woman, God made a woman from the rib of Adam. And so this person right here, against the word of God, I'm telling you, man, this is demonic. It's straight demonic. All right, the generations, we go through these flows. We're back at these generations again where people are doing things that are blazingly in affront to the word of God. And we're in a generation where we should totally know better now. All right, we should really know better. There's no excuse for this kind of stuff. So let's see, what else we got?
Jay Thompson said, on a serious note, the person that had their ribs removed wants to make a crown out of the bones, which that is in the article, and has supporters offering to make a broth from the marrow. Disgusting.
Cannibalism, y'all.
Yeah.
All right. So we're talking cannibalism here. And we're talking about a person who is exalting themselves as a person. It's like this person is assuming to be their own queen of heaven, if you will. This person is facilitating their own transformation against what God has decreed. All right. This person is assuming to be reborn as female and going to crown themselves with his own bones. Demonic, y'all. Totally demonic. Yeah, that's what we're at. This person doesn't just need a doctor. This person needs an exorcist.
Right.
All right. And as Christians, yeah, that's what we are. You know, that's not just the Catholics. The Catholics, they I guess they've assumed to hold the quarter on that. That's not where the power of the exorcism lies. The power of the exorcism lies in all of us who claim, who follow Christ. We are in his priesthood. We are his priest. Okay, you don't have to go to priest school or anything like that, or what have you. You study the Word of God, and you get your ablution, you get your baptism. You are baptized in the Lord's priesthood, and we, as followers of Christ, are priests in His order under our high priest. And so, yes, and you might have noticed that the godless has made it to where you got places where biblical counseling is illegal.
Yep.
Right? They've bound us. Right? I'm telling you, didn't I say pharmakia? You got it's sad, man, that you got conservatives. No, marijuana should be legal in. It's like, dude, you're wanting to legalize pharma. Do you realize what you're wanting to legalize? You're wanting to make legal pharmakia, which means sorcery. All right, it's witchcraft. That's what. And now that this stuff's become, people are being bound, aren't they? People are being kept from promoting the truth to these people. They want these people to go off the deep end. They want these people to be suicidal, man.
Yeah.
They want these people killing themselves. This person right here who's had these surgeries, oh, that pain is going to catch up with them. That pain is going to make them wish they were dead. And probably will respond to that.
Yeah.
What this person has done to their body. And, you know, come on now.
Yeah, you don't even want to know the statistics on these trans-surgical people. It's awful.
Yeah. You know, it's demonic. These people are giving up, and they're keeping, and they want to keep us from telling these people the truth.
Yeah, California, you said that. California is where it's illegal to give any sort of counseling.
Yeah.
Biblical counseling to the homosexual community and to the trans community.
Yeah. And the suicide rate with them is high.
Yeah.
You know? So, but like I said, I'm not being hyperbolic when I say, yeah, we are the exorcist. We are them. We're supposed to be able to go in there and talk these demons out of these people. But the spell has been bound. They've kept us. They keep us from these people. They don't want us talking to them. They want to keep them spellbound. They want to keep them in their grip. They want to make sure that they have no entry to heaven. The word of God says the effeminate males will not enter the kingdom. They will not inherit the kingdom. Homosexuals, male prostitutes, effeminate males, men assuming to be women and stuff like that, do not inherit the kingdom. And these people want to make sure that they don't. They want them to make themselves into an abomination. They want them to make themselves something that is at odds with nature. They want them to live as an abomination. They want them to die as one and not inherit the kingdom.
Yeah.
They want them to commit suicide and hand themselves over to death rather than give themselves over to life, who is Jesus Christ. This is engineered, and it's demonic engineering. Right? So we got work to do, y'all. Got work to do.
This is kind of disturbing. Red Forest says, I read a post from someone that does elder care and was caring for a trans woman, in quotes, that was suffering from dementia. He had surgery and everything. He had the surgery and everything, and he doesn't remember wanting to be a woman now. It's the dementia. That really shows you a lot of the psychology of these people.
Sure enough. Yeah. Yeah. And the question is, you know, what happens to this person's soul?
Yeah.
The thing to consider is to know that God is a just God. He's a just God. And he takes into consideration, you know, if this person was of the mindset that, that they were the opposite sex and they kept with that, as dementia was setting in, then that is what they lost their mind to. And unfortunately, maybe what they lost their soul to. That's why it's God is just like when you had the opportunity, when you were in your right mind, when you were in your right mind to come to me, you didn't. And now you have lost your opportunity to. You see what I'm saying? Once again, when you had your right mind, what did you, well, all things considered. I mean, if you thinking that if you're a man and you thinking that you're a woman, you're not in your right mind. But it doesn't mean that you're not competent. It doesn't mean that you can't distinguish right from wrong and stuff like that. You're still functional. All right. So you're able to make these decisions. You have discernment about these things. You have a level of competency where you can function in society. But you're a reprobate. You give it over to a reprobate mind.
Yeah.
You know, and God's like, but while you had this capacity to think, you did not use it to come to me. And you lost your faculties. You know? So that's not God being unfair. You know, it's tragic no matter how you look at it.
Yeah. Red 4 also said, this is another good comment. The medical industry is taking advantage of these people to make money on this. They make on average $150,000 for every single person they do this to. Ooh. Yeah, because they start in childhood with the hormones and they follow it all the way through to cutting off and mutating the genitals and anything else they want to.
Long game, mutate. Y'all.
Yeah.
Come on now.
Yep.
It's the long game. They know what they did. They got customers for this. Yes. Guaranteed customers.
And then when they're in a lot of pain, then they'll be in pain management and they'll have to get all kinds of, they'll have things wrong with them. So they are a lifelong customer now of Big Pharma. And
these people want us to pay for that.
Yes.
They want this universal health care. They look what they do to their health and they want us to pay for it. You know, it's like, and then they wonder why it's like, dude, this single payer thing, no. You want to do these things, you do that on your own dime. And to make us have this kind of system that is increasing cost and decreasing in quality, no, baby. You know, sad stuff, man. But I guess at the end of the day, the thing I'm praying for is that, Lord, come on, come get us. You know, it's like, I mean, you know. We pray for the improvement of our nation and things like that, and for society. It's like, look, if I'm gonna pray, man. If the pray, which I do, which we do. But it's like the thing I'm really praying for the most is like, because that's really gonna solve everything. Is that, Lord, just come get us. Come.
Amen.
Come on, that's the real fix, man. That's what it's gonna take. Just come get us. Okay, that's just in my humble opinion. House Republicans, last one, we'll go out on this one. House Republicans launched bill to approve purchase of Greenland. What do you guys think? You guys want to, incorporate Greenland as like the? I don't. 51st state? No. Here's why. I think I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm just hung up on an even number or something like that. Instead of just making Greenland another American state or another North American state, how about we trade out a state? If Greenland wants, it's the same thing I would say about immigration. You got a whole bunch of like very affluent people in America who hate this country. They hate America. I was like, well, okay, well, why don't you go live in a country where an immigrant wants to come from, who wants to be an American and wants to really, contribute to America? Why don't you get out, take their place, and let that person come here? We want people that dig America, man. That's what we want. So how about we? I'd be happy to go along with that program. And the same thing for incorporating other nations. It's like Greenland. Okay, you guys want to be Americans? Sound like you guys want to be Americans? Let's take a state that hates America, that has a population that just, California. How about that place? Okay, so California, New York. How about New York? We could take a state like that and say, you know what? We'll trade you out. You guys go ahead and be part of whatever communist or socialist state that you guys think, socialist country that you guys think you'll fit in with, and you can go ahead and be a part of that place. Only thing that I think the downside to that idea is that if it did become such a nation, that nation would use New York as a base, as an installation. So there's I understand that there's downsides to that idea. However, but if we have a state like Greenland, it could probably really offset that. It's like in terms of when we're talking about proximity and maybe like the terrain of how many installations we can put there. It's like, yeah, you go ahead and have a little New York. You want to put a little installation on your New York, you go ahead. Right? We got Greenland. We got a lot of places. We got a lot of space to really do a lot of damage to whoever's trying to get froggy with us. Now, but for real though, yeah, I would say trade out, man. To make a trade out, keep it 50 states. You want to be part of us, and we'll just go ahead and kick out one of the totally leftist states that we got. Now, what's the motivation? What's the incentive? We're talking about Greenland's supposed to have rich in resources.
Yeah. And strategic.
And the strategic positioning.
Yeah.
Of it, right? I don't know if that's that's not a good enough reason for me, man. Wasn't that like the incentive to have Alaska, right? The resources in Alaska and a strategic positioning of Alaska?
Seems like.
I'm asking. I'm not making an assertion. I thought that's what it was. Because if that's the case, man, then I would say no, don't pick up Greenland. No, until you can put that idea to work in Alaska, right? And show that's really how it works out, because Alaska is just going left. It's not like we're making the most of the resources that
right?
Alaska has.
The Democrats have made it so we can't do anything with Alaska.
Yeah. It's like the Democrats have dominated, man. You gonna give Greenland over to Democrats to do that too? I don't trust it. No, leave Greenland alone, man. Leave Greenland to Denmark. I think one of my favorite bands comes from Denmark, man. Was it Meshuggah? Right? That's like Yiddish for crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, Meshuggah, man. You hear that music, man, it's like, yeah, right? Makes you want to go crazy, right? No, but it's Meshuggah, that stuff is banging, man. I love Meshuggah. I think I'm not sure if it's like, if they come from like actual Denmark. I think they're Danish, or if they come from like Greenland, Denmark. I don't remember. But at any rate, yeah. What do you guys think, man? It's like, is that a fair challenge?
That's an extremely fair challenge. I'll just put my 2 cents in first. I say that is literally how the legislation should be written. You have to do well with Alaska first, because that's why we have Alaska.
Yeah.
And once you've proven that you can use Alaska as a strategic area and get the resources from there, then go on to Greenland.
Thank you. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So Alaska.
That's a lot of sense.
Yeah, that's supposed to be tanked up, with resources from Alaska.
Yep. And we've been letting the environmentalists tell us, no, you can't touch Alaska for decades, as long as we've been alive.
Right? But we gonna do that with Greenland?
I doubt it.
I doubt it. I doubt it. So once again, I hate to be a party pooper and stuff like that, but I think that's just the reality of things.
Tom Jensen says, and Alaska has crabs. So yeah, it'd be great to have the seafood.
Yes.
Bring it.
Right? Crabs shouldn't be as expensive as it is, man.
Right? Start bringing them down from Alaska. Darn it, or more of them down from Alaska.
For real. It's been a long time since we had us a
Yeah,
crab.
it has.
Yeah. Right? You ain't got a Red Lobster anymore. Can't get no crab with some cheddar bay biscuits. I remember. I think the reason why I didn't like when you try to cook crab at home. I think made up some crabs for us and that sounds awful. I made up some crabs for us. So it sounds like something you need some ointment for. But a crab, whatever. And I, had the butter and stuff like that, but it wasn't the same. And I didn't realize that you can't just use any kind of butter for that. You got to use that. You have to use ghee. When you say, and you can't just say ghee, because it sounds like something that you go to karate class in, But it's not ghee. What do they call that? Is that not guttural, but you know, when you know, you have to say,
Yeah, it's more.
not glottal, but I think it's guttural.
That's more German, I think. Because when I was taught French, there is a term for it. It's when it comes from your upper throat, and then there's other languages that come more from your guttural.
Okay, and what is that term, y'all, in making those kind of pronunciations?
Jay, I know you speak a lot of languages. Can you give us that term? Ooh, clarified butter. Yes, Tom.
That's right, clarified butter.
Is delicious.
Yes. You know, smells horrible, but but when
it does.
Yeah, it's like one of those things where it's like, you know, don't smell it straight from the jar. Just you know, go ahead and melt it, put it in the dish, and you know, and it's better that way. Yes.
Sketchy says, let's go after Australia. I'd be down for that. I'd like to visit, but have you seen the bugs in Australia, Sketchy? Just go on YouTube and look at the danger there.
Yeah, but here's the thing: even if we made Australia, you know, a state, one of our states, they can still stay where they are. It's not like we're gonna.
Well, that's true. Yeah, it's not like we'd be importing the bugs,
right? You know, so. But yeah, they got some doozies there.
Yes, they do.
And man, it would certainly be one of those things where you know, we would definitely need to get rid of daylight savings time.
Yes.
I don't know if they incorporate that in Alaska, but I mean, because they're a whole. Not only is their time zone totally, their season zone is totally different from ours. Now, what about? Would that be the same? With Greenland also? Dude, does Greenland, it seems like they're pretty far north, y'all. You know my geography sucks. Seem like they're pretty far north.
They're across from Russia, so.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure.
So let me see. For them, like in terms of like how much daylight, do they have like certain times of the year where they have more, do they actually experience nighttime?
Yeah, like Alaska.
For certain parts of the year, and then of course another part of the year they only have like daylight, or vice versa. You know what I'm trying to say. I don't know if are they that far north, or maybe like the northernmost part of Greenland. Is it like that?
Yeah, I would think so. If Alaska is.
Seems like it would be, huh? I don't know. It seemed like it would be a cool place to visit. I don't know. I'm not really a big fan of the cold. That might be like, you know, well, that's too far. That's way, even like where we are is like, and we're south. I think in terms of is that latitude? Which it is. I get my latitudes and longitudes backwards, y'all. Is longitude vertical and latitude horizontal? Let's say
yes.
Yeah. Okay. So latitude. I think we're south of Baja. Even still.
Really?
I think so. We're definitely south of, as far as I know.
Wow.
It's weird, right?
It's so cold here then in the winter.
Yeah. It seems like it would be warmer where we are, but from where we are, I think we're considerably south of even Southern California.
Wow.
Or like maybe, I don't think we're quite parallel. I think we're actually south of maybe even more southern than San Diego, I think.
Wow.
Yeah. But we get it's, I think maybe like at least on average 7 degrees colder here. Well, yeah. Cool, 7 degrees cooler. But when the winter hits though, I think where we were, I think maybe it would get sometimes it get into the low 30s.
Yeah, sometimes.
Yeah, but the thing is, y'all, desert cold is cold. The index of desert, it can get down, you know, let's say 35 degrees, maybe like, usually the lowest that it would get, like, you know, we were in the Coachella Valley, so, 30s, but that index is something different, though.
Yes, it is.
That index is a bitter, oh, man, it's straight through your fabric, man, it just goes right to your bones. It's cold, man. But, you know, here I think it's probably, it gets down into like, sometimes it'll dip into the 20s. Sometimes it'll dip into the teens. Maybe for about for a couple of days out of the year, and then but for the most part, it's usually pretty warm. But at any rate, I prefer that climate. Greenland sounds like a nice place, and if it became American territory, I don't know, maybe we'd visit there, but I don't know if I want to.
Yeah, I was thinking, well, it's not like you need a passport to go there if they're territory, so it'd be kind of fun.
That's right. Yeah, why not? I don't have to go get a bunch of shots.
Right, like you did for Haiti. Good golly.
All right, y'all. Well, thank you guys so much for tuning in for the Zoloft, my head right homies. And we will see y'all again Wednesday for the Zoloft. Don't forget, Tuesday, we got the Zopium Den, House of the Anti-Fuddy-Duddy Bible Study. And thank you guys for tuning in on the Instagrams, tuning in on the YouTubes, and tuning in on bronzeserpentmedia.com, which I hope everybody will become a member of. And I certainly appreciate y'all tuning in. Obviously, Instagram thought that I was going too long, so they disconnected me a while
ago. Again?
Yeah. Well, they'll only hang in with us for about an hour. That's usually kind of standard for Instagram.
Jeez.
And I've been jaw jacking, so they're basically telling you, okay, so it's time for you to wrap it up. You need to wrap it up.
Rude.
All right, y'all. Thank you guys for tuning in, and we will see y'all again soon. You groovy people, you. Bye.